Hi, my name is Bob Leroy, and today we're going to present data-driven decisions for healthcare. This solution was created in partnership with Sogeti, HP, and Microsoft. And before we get started, let's share a little bit about Sogeti. We're part of the Capgemini organization. Capgemini has about 140,000 employees worldwide. Of those, over 20,000 are part of Sogeti's organization. Sogeti is in 16 countries, mostly the US and Europe. We have over 2,000 employees in the US with offices in 22 cities. The patient and member engagement, so we can deliver a richer experience and higher quality product to our members. What drove us to create this solution is the IT trends that we're seeing in a modern healthcare space, primarily around new care models. There are accountable care organizations popping up weekly. With health reform and the Affordable Care Act, there's a big push to lower the cost of providing a quality care to patients. There's a lot of increased competition in the marketplace today. A lot of that is driven by the shortage of physicians. Wait time could go from 3 to 4 months if you're a new patient. And then there's also changing consumer expectations that's driven by other industries. And what can we do to create a more proactive care to lower the risk? One way that we can get to all of these things is through analytics. For example, if we're trying to lower our cost, one way to do that is move from an inpatient model to an outpatient model. Or if you're looking at cardiac care, what can we do to be more proactive in identifying where there are patients with conditions, and once we identify them, how do we treat them, either outpatient or ER or ICU or rehab? Again, analytics is going to help us proactively identify those and deal with them. And we want to share the insight from the data across the organization. We want it to be fast and scalable. We want the data available immediately. We want to allow the end users to identify trends and individually identify efficiencies that come from that data. And then we want to deliver it in a distributed model, which is what doctors and nurses and patients are. They're highly distributed, they're very mobile. So this very busy slide is a typical healthcare provider data architecture. On the left, you have some of the major ERP systems like Clarity, or maybe their HR system is PeopleSoft, or their financial system could be Lawson. We take all of that very structured, large sets of ERP data and we put them in a landing layer. And then we bring in some operational data that might be individual line of business applications. And we organize it in an MDM style so that it has conformed dimensions across all these data sources, which will allow us then to create different layers of integration that have common dimensions across all of them, the 3 bars in the center. Then we aggregate that data into a single device or a single appliance, and we could bring in unstructured data like social data or search data, news, media, blogs, wikis, to augment the structured data we have from our ERP systems. And then we can deliver that across lots of different mediums through reports and executive dashboards and web-enabled applications or mobile applications. And all of them are done in a very controlled way to ensure that the data is audited, balanced, controlled, and validated, so we know that the data that we're presenting is accurate. We've built our solution on Microsoft's Analytics Platform System, which is also HP's Converge System 300. And what that means is we've got a massively parallel processing environment all in a single cabinet with the network, the compute, and the storage all in a single box, delivered as an appliance, which is all pre-configured by HP and tuned so it'll perform when it arrives. The Converge System 300 in this diagram illustrates the basic layout of the direct-to-fabric Hadoop region alongside a data warehouse region, which is designed as a parallel data warehouse application. And each region provides a boundary for all of workload, security, metering, and servicing. And HD Insight is a Hadoop region that sits over the fabric of the appliance alongside the PDW region for processing. So both regions take advantage of Polybase as a shared query and processing model, which results in exceptional performance across each of the nodes. And I can use Polybase to query both structured and unstructured data using classic T-SQL. And the appliance can grow each of these regions based on your specific need. In addition, HD Insight enables the processing of Hadoop data in place without the need for expensive ETL. This diagram shows how we can reduce the hardware footprint. So instead of having both a database server and a Hadoop server, we can combine them into a single cabinet. It's all integrated management with System Center, so they can get actually down to the Hyper-V level. And it accelerates our time to market because it's all been pre-tuned and pre-configured, and you can just drop it into your data center. And finally, this slide shows that if you compare it to other vendors in the market, that Oracle, EMC, and IBM have a price per terabyte that's well over $15 per terabyte, where Microsoft and HP have brought that cost down to $5 to $6 per terabyte and are delivering exceptional performance at the same time. So let's take a quick look at a demo. First off, I want to show you what it might look like in a mobile application. This is running on an HP ElitePad specifically for the healthcare industry. You get to multiple personalities or personas within this mobile application, perhaps for a nurse's station that might want to see certain data like discharges, or an admin that might see admissions and service counts. But this is very much like a Windows 8 desktop might look, where you can scroll left to right, and we can put lots of data in here. We can actually take metrics from our data, our analytical system that includes structured and unstructured data. We can include news feeds, links to applications like GE's Healthcare Information System or Epic, quality reports like policies and procedures, or any other productivity app they might want, all delivered in a mobile experience that has access to all of that data that we've collected. Now let's see the full power of our solution. This is the main dashboard. As you can see, it's browser-based. Users can be given specific views and they can customize it to their needs. All the chart formats are supported. One of my favorites is the map. So let's click on one of the charts and navigate to the map of searches. You can zoom in on the search data to see the chronic conditions in the search data that we have. So you can see where people are looking for a specific type of a chronic condition. And this is a view of our unstructured data. But again, like we said earlier, we look at Parallel Data Warehouse, which is structured data, and HD Insight, which is Microsoft's implementation of Hadoop. So we're going to combine those two things together. And we have 14 million rows of structured data, and we've got weeks of unstructured data. And what we're going to do is query across both sets, all in the same chart. So using simple Excel-like controls, users can explore the data on their own. For example, starting with the unstructured data chart we have here, we can add the data to this chart and compare the relationships. Let's add service count by charge type, and then we'll sort that by month. So we'll add month, and then we'll sort it by month. Then we'll move this down a bit. And now you can see the inpatient and outpatient service counts and the visits that they've had within physicians from our structured data. And then we can also add a slicer to this, so that'll limit my chart to only the inpatient specific service counts. And now, as you can see, as we select data at the top, it changes our new chart. So let's zoom in on our data. We'll look at like Round Rock, and you can see the number of inpatient visits jumps up. If you look at the chart at the bottom, it's pretty thin, but you can see it. If you look at College Station, we'll click on it, it's showing a similar correlation. So what that's saying is, when people are doing searches for these chronic conditions, when those searches go up, we're seeing big spikes in inpatient services. So with this data, a company could develop a campaign to encourage at-risk patients to come into a clinic and maybe do a screening or something more proactive. And this would reduce the cost of services that we're providing in a proactive manner by moving from emergency inpatient care to outpatient facilities. And this addresses many of the needs that the modern healthcare providers seek. Sogeti offers a pilot program that uses your real-time customer data to produce 3 dashboards in about 30 days. Think about how these concepts may fit into your environment and how it could be applied to your customers. Contact Sogeti to determine if the pilot program is right for you and for your customers. And that's our presentation, showing how data-driven decisions for healthcare addresses the needs of the modern healthcare space. And this solution was created by Microsoft, HP, and Sogeti. Thank you.